So, where did I leave it last time? I went to visit the book doctor, and, he was telling me stuff. I kind of feel like the book doctor isn't like a medical doctor. I feel like he's more like a therapist, Kind of like someone, kind of like you go in with one issue and you come out with another kind of thing. Because that's what it kind of felt like when I visited him. I went to the book doctor, went in, gave me a prescription for a book, but he didn't exactly tell me what book. He didn't. Sorry, I think my phone's ringing. 1 second. Hello? Hi. Yeah. This is Corey. Yeah. Oh, book doctor. I was literally just talking about you. So, you're calling me this time, right? I don't need to come in. Okay, cool. So, you're not gonna prescribe me anything, or I don't need another visit? No. I don't need to ever come and see you again. I mean, that's a bit harsh. I thought we had kind of a good relationship, I came in, you prescribed me books, didn't tell me what books, and I found the stories. I thought it was the perfect relationship. Oh, wait, so you're referring me to what? I didn't even know the book doctor existed until the Storyologist. Right. And the Storyologist, he does what exactly? Of course he does. He explores people through the stories. Of course, he studies the people through the stories. Now, obviously that makes sense. So what do I need for my Storyology appointment? My books. I've always got a book with me. Sorry. Just books from the exhibits. I mean, I've got a few that, and the new books that I bought recently. How do you know that I bought new? I'm not denying that I have recently bought new books, but I'm just, all right. No need to be rude about it. Hello? Hello? Oh, I think he hung up on me. Well, that was the book doctor, and he, obviously, you may have heard secondhandly from the phone, as I was saying, I mean, he's referred me to the Storyologist. Now, I'm not 100% sure what the Storyologist is, but from my understanding and what the book doctor said rudely before he hung up the phone is that it's not about the books. He's just going to ask me questions. And I should just bring my books with me? I mean, luckily I have these books with me, and obviously, I mean, I'm not denying I've bought new books recently, because I have bought new books recently. So, I mean, I'll just take this stack of books with me to visit the Storyologist, and I mean, sure, it'd be fine. He didn't say what books to bring, he just said bring books with me, the recent books that I've bought and some of the books from the exhibit. So I guess I'll just bring these books with me then. Right then. Imagine I just disappeared and I stood up. I left it. Wait, I can actually do that. Oh, I should probably sit down first, right? Yeah? All right. Thank you for having me. So, did the book doctor... First of all, can I just say this is the fastest referral I have ever had go through. Like, the NHS is absolutely ridiculous. Like, you get a referral for one place, then there's a waiting list, then you may be on this waiting list, then they may like cancel your appointment or the place where you were on the list to rearrange. It's a whole thing. But this, what is it that you call this? Storyology. Yeah, I understand this is storyology, but I mean, before I was seeing the book doctor, I've now been referred on to the storyologist. Like, is there like a service? Are you a service? Forget about that. Right, of course. Why am I here? I'm here to see you, Mr. Storyologist. I mean, I'm not 100% sure why I'm here. Questions. You've got questions for me. That's what the book doctor told me. And you want to know about me through the stories. Are you going to prescribe me something? You're not. Okay, all right, fine. So you just want to know why I choose stories. I mean, that's kind of a loaded question. How so? I mean, I don't know why. I guess it's kind of a thing where, I don't know. It's kind of this thing where stories are just, it feels like sometimes that stories are following me. Like it's my shadow, in a way. Like I can't help but fall into a story, be the creator of a story, or have stories happening around me. And even if the stories aren't about me, I just can't help but be curious about them. I guess it's curiosity. Right. So you want to know about the first book from my stack? I mean, I wasn't sure how many books to bring. The book doctor told me to bring a few of the books from the exhibit and some of the books that I bought recently, and I bought them with me. Is 4 too many? No, is 4 too many books? Should I have bought one, or no? It's fine. Okay, it says something. What does it say about? What are you writing down? All right. Sorry. So you probably won't get it because you wasn't in the book doctor meeting when I was talking to the book doctor. But the book doctor, me and him, we had this thing going on where he would write notes down and I would question him on about the notes. And no, of course we won't. It's more serious here. No, of course I understand. So the first book, what you want to know about it? Right, so the first book is Brave New World. So you want to know why I needed to read it? I mean, need is kind of a strong word for starters. I wouldn't say I needed to read it. I would say that I really wanted to read it. I think really want is probably a better phrase for it, because it wasn't like a need. It wasn't like a dying urge. Sorry, I misspoke. It wasn't a need. It was more of a dying urge. Oh, it's just me that found that funny. No, of course. You just... not a need, a dying. Oh, no, I don't get it either. It was just a silly collection of words. I said I'm sorry. So back to Brave New World. Yeah. So why did I need to buy it? Sorry. read it. I didn't need to read it. It wasn't a dying urge. It was kind of more of the thing like, so me and a friend from drama school, we were in this group chat with a few of the other people that we went to drama school with. I can't remember how many years ago it was actually from now. Let's call it like 5 plus, maybe 5 years. I don't know. Time is a construct, you know. Time happens. Sometimes it's fast. Sometimes it's slow. You know, there's times though. Time is a construct, but we follow times. But I'm veering off topic here. We're here to talk about Brave New World currently, right? And why I bought this, or sorry, why I needed to read this book. Was that the question? Yes. So as I said, need is a strong word. It was more of a thing where, like I was saying, with friends from drama school, we were in this collective from drama school, everyone was in a group chat. We decided that we wanted to put on a play and we wanted to create it ourselves. So a few of us, we met up, we came up with concepts. Ended up being 2 writers, me and another girl from my class, if it was Joyce, I think I remember. And me and Joyce, we ended up writing this play, but we kind of got ourselves in a bit of a muddle. No, don't worry, the story has a point. It veers back round to Brave New World. I just need to, of course. Now, I just need to get through this story first, and then no, but there's no short. All right. So as I was saying, the play. So we were writing this play, and we kind of got ourselves into a bit of a muddle because, you know, it was more the structure and figuring out how to get from A to B. We had all these great world building things, but like no through line structure to get us from A to B. We kept hitting roadblocks when we were writing. And then someone told, after reading the script and reading what we were up to at a point, someone read it and someone said, "Have you guys read 1984 by George Orwell?" We were both like, no. But we were both also said, we've been told to read it, but we hadn't read it yet. And the person we were talking that read the script, they was like, yeah, I recommend you guys read 1984 and then come back to this script. So we both went away and read 1984. In fact, I tell a lie, I actually listened to the audiobook of 1984 because I wanted to get through it faster so that I could continue writing the script. And I knew if I was reading it, it would have been an amazing read, but also it would have taken me a bit longer to read. So I listened to the audiobook, and when I was listening to the audiobook, I was like, oh my gosh, this is basically the story that we've written, but like a new age version of it. So we ended up finding the form for the play that we needed. Anyway, fast forward. After reading 1984 and telling people about, oh my gosh, I love this book, you guys read it? And they were like, yeah, of course we've read it. And I was like, oh, sorry, I've only just heard about it. I'm late to the party. Then someone said, have you read Brave New World? See, I told you it loops back around. Have you read Brave New World? And I was like, no, actually, I haven't. They were like, I recommend, since you've read 1984, you should read Brave New World as well. And I was like, all right, cool. I will read it. And obviously, since I was going through this rut of reading and not reading, and now I'm back in this reading flow again, I don't know, it just came to me randomly while I was going to the bookshops frequently. I did go recently, but the word I was looking for was frequently. So yeah, I've been going to the bookshop frequently. Is this a new thing? Yeah, yeah. No, it's not a new thing. I would always go to a bookshop and buy a book, whether it was like a Waterstones or like a W.H. Smith's or anywhere that sells a book. But I guess the new thing is kind of going into independent bookshops, because before it was like big chain bookshops, and now I've been going into independent book dealerships. What's a book dealership? Because I called it a bookshop before. See, I just misspoke. See, what I call them is book dealerships, you see, because, you know, they call themselves booksellers, but they're not really selling books. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are selling books, if we want to quantify the book just to a physical thing. Like, yeah, Brave New World is a book, but in fact, it's a book that contains a story. And that's why I feel like they're not booksellers, they're story dealers. They deal in stories. That's why it's an independent book dealership, you see. And before, obviously, I called it a bookshop, but then I just switched into book dealership. It was just force of habit. I mean, the next exhibit. So we're finished with Brave New World, you're happy. But what do you... Sorry, I shouldn't ask you about your notes. My mistake. So, we're good? Brave New World, we can put it on to the next. All right, cool. We'll just leave that there then. Right, so what's next? You want to know why I pick up a book? All right. Like, how long is a piece of string? Okay, again, sorry, just a joke for me then. Can I just... Why are you so serious, Mr. Storyologist? Sorry, I shouldn't be asking you questions. My mistake. This is about me and not about you. Sorry. I'm sorry. Right. So you think I'm deflecting? No. What? Why would I be deflecting? I'm here for help. I was referred to you, Mr. Storyologist. Well, come on. I'm just, what makes me pick up a book? I don't know. Could be anything. Could be the familiarity. Like, say for example, like it's a book like this, like the Midnight Library, for example. Say it's the Midnight Library, right? I saw this book for the first time in the ebook shop. And when I saw it in the ebook shop, I didn't really want it, I was like, it doesn't really seem like a book that I would want to read. But then I saw it in the bookshop, and I don't know. It was like that familiarity. I was like, the Midnight Library, I feel like I've read that title before. So I picked up the book and I read the blurb, and I was like, oh, yeah, this sounds like a type of book I actually want to read. And it's funny, like when I saw it in the ebook shop, it didn't sell it to me, but the physical book in my hands and reading the blurb, that did. So I don't know. In this instance, for like the Midnight Library, it was more to do with like familiarity. I remember seeing in the book before, like one of the books that I've recently finished reading, Coffee Before... What? I was going to say Coffee Before Tea, but no, I've forgotten the title of the name, the title of the book. Before the Coffee Gets Cold. There you go. Total Recall came back to me. So when I remember, like I said, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, that's again because I remember having that conversation about that book, and that led me to saying, yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out. And then I saw it in the bookshop, and then it made me pick up. I was like, oh shit, I've seen this book. This has been recommended to me, so yeah, I'll check it out. So yeah, like I said, familiarity is a thing. Sometimes it's the color of the book. Is that weird? Just picking up a book because of the color. Is it a thing that I do often? I mean, maybe. I couldn't say. Can I continue answering this question and we talk about the color later? All right, yeah. So it could be like the typecast. Very rarely though. Funnily enough, it's very rarely that I'm fully focusing on what the title of the book is. It's usually the how do we say this? Typography. I had to read that from my notes there. The typography of what the text looks like. So maybe it's like kind of styled cool. So I might look at the cover because, oh, that looks cool. That looks interesting. And then I read the title and I'm like, oh, what's this about? But it's very rarely that it's the actual title itself. Like I read the title and I'm like, I want to read that. Like usually it's like, yeah, the typecast, I've seen it before. What the cover looks like, oh my days. What the cover looks like sells me the book every time. These cover artists, I take my imaginary hat off to you. Because it's, yeah, man. Like, I mean, the Midnight Library is pretty cool in the sense that it just shows you a building that's kind of 3D that you could see in, but it's hollow, which doesn't tell you a lot. But I'm more sold from the Midnight Library from the cover, from the blurb, than the cover. But then with like Brave New World, it had absolutely nothing to do with the cover. I wasn't even, it was everything to do with the title because it was a title that I had been recommended. So maybe occasionally I am looking for a book based on the title. Like I had no idea what the cover looked like. All I knew is Brave New World, and I knew it was by Huxley, and I was like, I need to find this book. So yeah, there's that. And I guess you asked me about the color earlier. Now, I guess it's kind of a new thing. Maybe it kind of like a sensory way of buying a book, I guess. It came from the fact of like, I don't know, the color thing for me, I don't even know how to put it into words. Like, let's just start with Big Sky, for example. This book here, I had no idea what it was about. I just know that I picked it up because there was a bit of blue on it. I'm just going to be honest. Blue's my favorite color. It caught my eye. I was like, oh, what's this blue and, what's that, beige? Blue and beige cover. I wasn't even paying attention to the beige. I just saw the blue and I was like, oh. Then after I see the blue, I saw Big Sky and I was like, Big Sky? That means there's more blue. Pulled out the cover, pulled it out from the shelf, looked at it, and then I saw on the front, it was like, it says, supremely funny, a masterclass. And I was like, supremely funny? And then also, look at this cover, like it's like a seagull trying to eat ice cream. That's something we could see, we can all imagine, especially in the UK. Like, these seagulls are rabid, bro. You have to be careful of your sweet treats and snacks when you're around the seagulls, yeah? And then I think I just flipped over, because obviously I'm sold from the color, big sky, kind of irrelevant. At this point, I hadn't even looked at who wrote the book. Just looking at the cover, the title, then I'm looking at what these reviews are saying. And I think I got to the back and it says something about, there's a review from the Telegraph, and it says, one of the few characters in modern crime fiction so fully realized that one can imagine him living a life outside of the books. And I read that review and I was like, who the hell is this character? I was like, a Jackson Brody novel. I was like, who is Jackson Brody? A Jackson Brody novel. I was like, that means there's more in this collection. Then I went to the author and I'm like, who is this author? Doesn't even matter. No shade against any author, but a lot of the time I'm not actually looking at who wrote it. I'm looking at, as I just said, like the cover, whatever just draws me to this book. And now I'm probably, I'll be more interested in the author once I'm reading the book and I'm like, oh shit, those reviews didn't lie, this is sick. So yeah, like Big Sky, I'm kind of intrigued to read. I might actually end up reading this one next before Brave New World, because who the hell is Jackson Brody? I need to know, like, why is this character so real life that you can imagine him in the real world? I need to know. And that's it. Like, once these hooks hook me, I just need to know. And at that point, the book's already in my hand and I'm already looking around the bookshop to see if I need to buy another book, or this is the one book I'm going to walk out with, but it's already in my hand and I'm walking around with it. So yeah, maybe it's curiosity, maybe. Yeah, but it's never usually the author. I do apologize, authors. I'm an author as well, and I would hate to hear that someone is out there picking up books and not looking at the author and thinking like, shit, I'll just read that. But at the same time, if you picked up my book for whatever reason, whether it's curiosity, I don't have a book yet, but I'm writing one. But if you picked up my book or one of my poems and you were like, or a book of poems, I don't have one of those, but I'm writing something. I'm always writing poetry though. And yeah, like curiosity is never usually the author, and I do apologize, authors, like I said. But it's more like the covers, the designs, the reviews, if there's reviews on it, the blurb. That's what sells me the book. The author is like really low down the list of what I'm checking for, unless I know who the author is. Like I've read another book from them and I'm like, geez, I've already read. Like when I was in the bookshop and I did see Big Sky, I also saw, I can't remember the name of the book, but it was another book by Bob Mortimer. And he wrote The Satsuma Complex. Fantastic book if you get a chance to read it. Really great romantic comedy. Really hilarious. Really hilarious? Is that good grammar? Really funny? That's probably better. Extremely hilarious. I don't know if that's right either. But very funny. I know that's right. And it is very funny, so I recommend checking that out. I think I got it upstairs. Pretty sure I got it upstairs somewhere. But yeah, like, and then when I saw whatever the name, I think it might have been Hotel Satsuma or something like that. I was reading the blurb and I think I remember seeing something like that. But anyway, because I've read a book from Bob Mortimer, then when I see another book from Bob Mortimer, I'm like, yeah, I might pick that up on another time, because I've read a book from him, or I've read a book from her, or I read a book from them before, and I'm just like, yeah, I want to check it out. And, you know, that's what makes me pick up a book. Have I answered the question enough, or you don't need any more? Sorry, too much talking? No? Right, so the next question, you want to know about Michael Rosen? I mean, I know a little bit about him. Probably from school, most likely. We probably studied his work, or like I know the name, but you told me, how did the book doctor even know about it? He knew that I bought books. Yeah, I know he said that to me on the phone, but how did he know exactly? It was in the how did he know? Right. So again, I bought this book on the same day when I bought Big Sky. So I guess I was in this blue mode. Is that what I can call it? Blue mode. And I was just like buying books for sensory reasons. What can I say? Bought Big Sky. I took it out of the bookshelf because it was blue, and then everything else fell into place. This Michael Rosen book here. So I bought this book. I went to, what did I go? Yes. So yeah, I bought this book when I went to the Benjamin Zephaniah celebration with my mum. We went down there, we saw this amazing show, with poetry and music, and yeah, just all these people that meant so much to Benjamin Zephaniah, like his wife, or what's the word that I'm looking for? Frequently known collaborators, or people that he knew from when he was younger, or coming up in the scene and stuff like that. And it was just really beautiful to hear kind of about the man behind the words. Like, they told stories about meeting him, or they told stories about their experience of what they found or they knew of him. But it was, or they shared like pieces, their favorite pieces from him, or maybe they had collaboration songs where he was on, or like just great stories about their friendship or whatever. And the one takeaway that I will take from the celebration is that Benjamin Zephaniah loved animals. That's the one takeaway that I get. He loved animals, and he never would hurt a fly. Not even a fly. Which is beautiful to kind of hear. And I guess, you know, when I saw this book, I first saw this book before going into the celebration. And I was just excited because I saw books. And let me not lie. Like, I was just, me and my mum got there, we had a nice meal, we came to the South Bank Centre. There was, what else was happening? Before we saw the before we saw the Benjamin Zephaniah celebration, Poetic Unity, this fantastic open mic and collective, they were doing like a music and poetry event that I got to watch before going into seeing more poetry and performance. And like I said, before we were looking around, me and my mum, and we saw like the books. She was like, oh cool, look, some books. And I was like, nice. I ran over there and I was like, geez, I don't even know what book to buy. I just see all these books. And I was already, when I was looking around all the books, I was already drifting towards this book. I hadn't read the cover. I hadn't looked at who the author was. I just saw a blue cover and I was like, yeah, that's the book I want. And then like there was people there. The people there, they were like showing me other books. And they were like, do you know this author? And I was like, no. And in my head I was thinking, do I need to know who the author is to buy a book? No. I just need some sort of hook towards the book, whether it's the color, the cover, the typography, just my everyday curiosity, you know. I don't need a specific, it doesn't need to be the author. Why does it need to be the author? But then they discouraged me. They were like, maybe you should watch the show first and find out about the authors and then buy the book. And I was like, all right, guys, if I must, do it the right way. But, you know, maybe I should have said I knew who the author was. And then they wouldn't have given me that snack, that stick. But hey, watch the show, absolutely amazing show. And, sorry. You're not boring me. I'm the one talking. I'm the one telling the story. It was just a yawn. It just slipped out. I'm really sorry. Just get back to the story. Of course. So, yeah, after the show, I went back out and I was like, nice. Books. The first thing that came into my head was like, cool, show's done. Now I can get that book or a book. And yeah, I did get another book, but I didn't bring it down. Ah, shit. But anyway, I bought this book and I went to the collection of books. I was looking around and, you know, I ended up looking around and I was just drawn back to this blue cover again and I picked it up and had it in my hand. And my mum was like, why did you buy that? Why did you pick that book, Cor? And I was like, because it's blue. She laughed and I laughed. And she knew. She was like, yeah, sure, that's probably a crazy thing Corey would do. And it was funny. The funniest thing for me though was because I had to like turn my body to face my mum. I was facing this way where the table was with the books. My mum was off to the side. And as I was like looking at my mum, telling my mum that the reason why I bought this book was picked it up was because it was blue. There was like this lady who like stood like just behind, and I could see her face in the peripherals of my eyesight. And as I said to my mum, because it's blue, I looked at her face before I went back to the book to purchase it, and her face, it looked like she was like kind of, cogs were moving, but like she was like, it was like I could see like what she must have been thinking, and must have been like from the face she was giving anyway. It was like, well, you just picked up a book because it was blue. It just made me giggle some more. So yeah, I picked up this book because it was blue, and yeah. I have since read the cover, Michael Rosen, Life Lessons on Going Under, Getting Over It, and Getting Through It. Getting Better is the name of the book. And this caption at the bottom, it says, caption review from another author. It says, full to the brim with wisdom. And it says at the top, a survivor's manual. Survivor's manual. That's a review from The Guardian. And full to the brim with wisdom was from Caride Lloyd. I'm so sorry if I butchered that name. And yeah, you know, I read the blurb a little bit also since buying the book. But I didn't do any of that until I got home and I was like going through the books and I was like, oh shit, let me actually read this cover and see what it's all about. And yeah, I mean, it seems like a really interesting book, and it seems like it, you know, dealing with grief and loss, and that's something I have dealt with in my life. So, and it's something I probably would say that I haven't fully dealt with it, because of various reasons and various stories that I won't get to in this video. But yeah, I feel like this will help. This could be eye-opening perspective, but it's quite interesting for me, more so, that I bought it just because it was blue. I didn't read any cover. I saw maybe Michael Rosen on there and I was just like, cool, you wrote it. And I saw his performance and his speech in the Benjamin Zephaniah performance. But again, his performance and his speech had no real bearing on me buying this book. It had everything to do with the fact that the cover was blue and nothing to do with anything on the cover. Which I do find kind of somewhat funny. Do you not find you're not laughing? I find that I should just but I can't. All right, fine. So you want to know now that do stories resonate? What do you mean? Do I resonate with these stories to buy them? Well, I mean, does the story resonate? I would say no. I would say that the story doesn't need to resonate with me specifically for me to pick up a book. In the sense of, like, for it to resonate with me is something that, like, you know, it would stay with me, but I wouldn't know if this story is going to stay with me until I've opened it and I've read the story. Or sorry, I don't know if this book is going to stay with me until I've read the story within it. And so I would say that often what draws me to the book is the interest or the curiosity, like I said, or the sensory, like it's blue. Or maybe it's the title that I'm looking for. But I guess the resonance, what is that word? The resonance for me comes with reading the book. For example, the book that I'm currently reading is Cuddy by Benjamin Myers, and I would say that it's resonating with me the more that I'm reading it, because I'm finding it kind of interesting, the form in which the story is being told. Because some of it is in prose, some of it is in poetry, some of it's in diary entry, some of it's in like quotes from other people who have written about this person. What's the name of it? His name is Cuthbert, Saint Cuthbert, and don't fully quote me on this because I haven't finished reading the book. But from what I'm understanding so far, I think I just got to chapter 5. It seems as though Cuddy is somewhat of an elusive character. There's certain information that's known about him and certain information that's not known about it. Some of it is quite poetic, some of it is quite matter of fact, some of it is kind of fantasy based, some of it is kind of mystical. But the way that each page or each part of the story is told in a different form makes it feel like the character is more elusive. Like, it's very poetic. And it's told in forms of poetry, or maybe sometimes it's song, or maybe it's a play, or prose, like I said, but it's always changing its form, which kind of keeps me alive within the story. But then it also, I guess, in a way, it keeps Cuddy alive through the story. It's not just prose. It's not just a story I'm reading. It's like a story that I'm living within. Yeah. It's so poetic in its way that it's being told that it allows the reader so much space to kind of imagine. A lot of it's kind of fanciful. A lot of it's from the year 600. Do you know what I mean? It's from time ago. I absolutely love history, so this is great for me. And I'll probably, after finish reading this book, I'll probably go and do a deep dive and find out more about this guy. But yeah, I recommend it. Definitely recommend it. But that story is resonating with me the more that I read it. It didn't resonate with me in the beginning, and it was more out of interest. And you know, there's a difference between resonance and interest. Something can interest you, but it may not resonate with you. And I mean, I've had books where they've interested me and I've read it out of interest, and I've got to the end and it didn't resonate with me, but there's parts of the story that I'll take away with me. And I don't know if that's complete resonance, but it's something. And yeah, so for me, resonance comes after the reading, but it's not always a given. Just because I'm interested in it, just because I take parts of the story away and add to my story, doesn't necessarily mean that it's resonated with me. Parts of it may have, but not the book as a whole. Because I think they're two different kind of thoughts and ideas. Is that enough? Okay. So so you want to know, what am I collecting? So I was talking to the book doctor about this. I'm not collecting anything. I don't collect books. I'm not a collector. I'm a book buyer, maybe a story hunter. Ooh, a story hunter. That sounds sick. I know I just made it up, but it sounds kind of cool. A story hunter. Yeah. Story hunter. I wouldn't say that I'm collecting books or stories per se, or maybe perspectives, or maybe it's like a way to see the world. Like, I wouldn't say the world that we live in is the world. Life is life, and I'm sure everyone's out there lifing and loving life, or hating life, or realizing that being an adult was not it was all cracked up to be. That was not all it was cracked up to be. Like, do you know, like when you're a kid and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to be an adult so I can do like stuff, and then you become an adult and you're like, hey, I wish, is there a time machine? Can we go back in time? Can I enjoy that time a bit more before bills and life? So like, when there's a book you can escape to, and I say escape loosely because I'm still firmly living in the real world. It's just escape in the sense of it's nice to get a little break. It's nice to get a little bit of a perspective on your current life. Sometimes you read something within a book, or you go to say a poetry performance and you hear someone speak, and it wasn't until you heard those words or read those words that you knew that you needed to hear or read them. There's a lot of times when I'm reading books and I'm like, jeez, and I have like a notebook. I haven't actually done it in a very long time because I've just been reading. But usually when I find a line from an author that I absolutely love, I write it down in my notebook and I'm like, yeah, that line was sick. the wordplay, the imagery, yeah, that was sick. I wish I wrote a line like that. Sorry, am I veering off topic? The question was about collecting, no? Yeah. I do that sometimes. I drift off into rabbit holes, left, right, and center. I always come back to the topic though, but you wanted to know about the collecting. As I said, I'm not a collector. I'm more of a story hunter. I hunt for stories. I find the stories. And these stories are usually like for my to read later pile. So as you can see here, these are like 4 books in my to read later pile. But I'm not collecting per se. Just a buyer of books, you know? So I think that the realization here, and do correct me if I'm wrong, Storyologist, stories begin before the page? Before page 1. That's pretty interesting. I never thought about it like that. The story begins before you even have the book in your hand. The story begins when you have that idea, that thought to buy a book. Maybe you have an idea of what book you're going to buy, but you don't know what it's going to be like unless you have a recommendation or a review. But even then, you can only really trust those as far as you can throw them. Really, the story begins with you, the story that you have, the story of you going to get that book. And then another interesting realization I'm having is that the front cover is actually the first sentence. And I didn't really think about that. I didn't think until I had these experiences, but like the front cover is the first sentence. That's why the cover is so important. Whether it's an image or whether it's the text, it's the first thing that you see before you read the story within the cover. So the cover is the first sentence. Maybe it's the title, maybe it's the reviews from the newspapers or other authors. And sometimes, like I said, it's not even the title that's selling me the book, it's what other people have said. And I'm more like, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, okay, let's see if what they've actually written is true. And I'm kind of like, all right, that's interesting. There's been a few times where I've read a book and I'm just like, they've bigged this up way too much. Like, this ain't that. But yeah, I think that ultimately curiosity is always an invitation. And especially for me, the fact that I can pick up a book, not read anything, the cover, the blurb, and just pick it up because of the color and take it home, and just so happens that this book is a book that I would actually want to read. And maybe subconsciously I did take in the information on the cover, but that was not the reason that drew me to the book. So, Storyologist, are you gonna share with me how I did? What have you got? You can't tell me about the notes. Alright, so we just sit here in silence for a bit and then, what, just leave? You don't have any closing words for me, or do I need to come and see you again? I might do. Alright. And I might have to see the book doctor again. But I thought the whole point... Yeah. He needs to prescribe me some more things and I need to talk to him about stuff. Right. So, but can I not know about what you have written there? Like, please? Like, I just need to know maybe my, what is this, prognosis? Diagnosis? I need to know something before I leave this place. Okay. Right, give me something, right. So, you figured out that I don't chase authors. All right, yeah, I thought so. I mean, like I said, I bought a book because it was blue. I chase curiosity. I can agree with that. Curiosity is the biggest driver in a lot of things in my life, to be honest. I'm a story-first reader. What do you mean by that? I chase the stories. Well, I mean, like I said, these are just covers. The stories are within. So I guess I'm chasing the story, or story-first reader. Ah, story first. The story starts before I buy the book. The story starts when I have the idea to buy a book. Then I find the book. But then there's always a process of searching and the books that I pick up before I pick up the book I actually buy. You're right. And then it's the story that sells me, the book. The blurb, most usually. So I'm just here collecting perspectives. Perspectives. I was trying to think of it like those perspectives, like what you get at university. No, perspective collector. I collect perspectives, and you still say that I have narrative nomadism. Right, so that's why I'm still being referred to the book doctor for more sessions. Right. Okay. So am I free to go, or... Sorry, you're going to leave. But I'm in your office, no? But still, you don't have to leave your own office. This is... But, I mean, you need to leave me with my thoughts for a bit. But why? I thought we... I thought we'd done it already. All right, so how long do you need to give me? Like maybe... All right, fine. You go get you want me gone by the time you... Like, all right. I thought you were going to come back and tell me when it was... No. Of course. I'm kind of fine. Don't worry. Sorry, Mr. Storyologist, sorry, before you go, if I wanted to report you guys, like, is there sorry, I can't report you because you're a completely fictitious doctor. Right. Completely made up. Of course, and Oh, that's what they're called, because they're completely made up. Enforcers, right. I guess I'll get in contact with... Hello? So he just left, and it's just me. So, I mean, I guess I'll call this the end of the video. I wasn't expecting the Storyologist to just leave. Do you think it was me? Was the too many books? Too many stories? I don't know. I was just answering his questions. I didn't expect all this, like storming off. All right. Since this is the end of the show, or the video rather, I thought I was only just starting to understand the story of why I'm drawn to these books. And the Storyologist has walked off, referred me back to the book doctor. And I still have to see the Storyologist frequently, but he said he'll call me. So I'll just wait for the call. But yeah, as we're here at the end, we have those questions as always. So question number 1 and only for you guys to get back to me is, what makes you pick up a book? Is it the cover? Is it the author? Is it a recommendation? Is it the title? Or is it a color? Is it just the color? Do you like me and you just see a color and you're like, yeah, I want that book? I don't know. But let me know in the comments. And with that, I hope that you've enjoyed the video. And yeah, if you've enjoyed it, let me know in the comments, as well as answering the question. And if you haven't enjoyed it, I just thank you for staying this long in the video. You truly are my MVP. Or MVPs. Hate watchers, love watchers, casual watchers. Thank you for watching. And I'm out. Bye. Is that right? A wave? Is that better? All right then.